Welcome to Building a Powerhouse Brand. I'm Jackie Laws, brand strategist, mentor, designer, author and founder of brand agency Bailey & Rue. My mission for this podcast is to support other women to build a magnetic personal brand and a business that allows you to have both financial and time freedom. Building your personal brand is not just about those visuals, it's about setting the stage as the real you and a magnet for those dream clients. Join me and my incredible guests as I dive into the strategies, insights, and stories behind building a successful brand. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a marketer, or simply intrigued by brand building, this podcast is your roadmap to success. Tune in each week as I explore branding, innovation, and influence, and join me on this adventure as we unleash the power of personal branding. Visit baileyandrue.com for more insights and follow me on Instagram at baileyandrue. This is Becoming a Powerhouse Brand. Hello, lovely ladies. I am so excited for another episode of Becoming a Powerhouse Brand because today I am talking all about things that I have learned in my mid to nearly late 30s. So I am turning 38 in a couple of days' time, and I've been doing loads of reflection work over the last year. So something that's been really important to me, especially since having children, is to kind of find who I am. And I think anybody that's listening to this that's had children themselves or gone through some kind of significant lifestyle change, it completely changes you, not just mentally, emotionally, physically, and everything, but like everything about you shifts. Like you learn so much about yourself. And I think it's so easy, especially when you have young children, that you kind of get wrapped up into this whole world of doing everything for everybody else, that you forget to prioritize you. And in that process, you can very easily sort of lose who it is that you are or who you're trying to be. And one of the most important things with becoming a powerhouse brand, which is what I wanted to speak about throughout this entire podcast, is about really identifying who it is that you are. So when you are building a personal brand, it's not about identifying who you are right now in this present moment or who you've been. That is some of the inner work that I do with my clients. It's something that I think is really important in terms of your own personal growth. But to build a magnetic personal brand, it's really about that vision of what do you want to have for your business, for your life? Like, what are those goals? What are those dreams? What is that vision you've got for yourself? And really focusing on that. And for me, like I've done so much reflecting on who I am. And last year, 2023, was a year about really kind of connecting with other people. So I went to a lot of in-person events last year. I'm doing a lot again this year because it's something that I've realized is actually really important to me, especially when I'm working from home, like with lockdown and everything. There were just so many points where you just didn't see people. And when you're always at work, it can be really hard to create that kind of the disconnect between work and home because you're always at work. So being able to go out and do things for work, like whether it's a networking event or some kind of workshop or a retreat, or you're hosting something yourself, or you're working with clients in person, I think it's so important that you do have that space outside of home, like if you do work from home, just so that you've got that differentiation between work and life. So I've been doing a lot of like personal development work, and one of the things that was really important to me this year, so last year was a lot of mindset work, doing that inner work of who I am, who I want to be, like things that have happened to me in my past, like past traumas, not that I've been through anything like severely traumatic or anything, but one thing that I've worked on with the lovely Charisse, who came on for an episode a few weeks ago, if you haven't listened to it, make sure that you do, where she talks all about finding out about childhood traumas and how any small things that have happened to you during your childhood, no matter how sort of traumatic it may appear to maybe a grown-up, but to you at the time, if you've gone through any kind of trauma, something's upset you or made you feel stressed or anxious, those feelings can linger with you for your entire adult life if you don't reassess and work on this kind of inner empowerment and well-being and mindset work. So it really is so important, and it's something that I'm really passionate about doing, and it's why one of the shifts that I'm seeing in my own business as a brand agency is not, I didn't want to just be about rebrands. Like, as much as I love doing the visuals, I'm a creative person myself. Like, I love doing branding and websites. But for me to be able to build someone's personal brand, it's about really deep diving into those layers of who they are, who these people are, who they're aspiring to be, like their current situation and the life that they're trying to build for themselves. And no rebrand is going to be able to create that without truly understanding who it is that you are and doing that inner work. So this is where I kind of have gone down the route of creating this whole the brand makeover experience and really identifying who it is, who you want to be, that vision, and bringing out your next level self so that I can then brand you in the direction that you're going so that you're not feeling stuck and you're not just branding for who you are right now or the business model you've got. Because for the majority of entrepreneurs, we want to be constantly evolving and changing and adapting what it is that we do. Um, so I think it's really important that we all understand as women, especially, like that we do this in a work and we really do prioritize our own self-care and our own well-being, because that's where the results come. And this is something that I've found so inspiring, actually. So I've always been one of those people that have believed in, like, I love all the woo stuff. I've not been like heavily into it, but I've always really admired people that are. I've never like not believed in things, and I've always been really inspired by people that are into like crystals and healing and Reiki and all of these incredible things, but never really deep dived into it myself until like over the last, I'd say maybe the last 6 months. So one thing that's been really important to me is doing manifestation work and really visualizing who it is that I want to be, like the business that I want to create for myself and the lifestyle that I want to have for me and my family. Um, and I can't explain enough how much of a transformation I've noticed from doing this work and doing it daily. So the thing I wanted to talk about on this episode is creating healthy habits in your routine. So my whole mindset before, I've always been a busy person. I've always put 110% into everything. Like every job I've ever had, I've always been that person that would stay and work till crazy o'clock at night, doing overtime. Wasn't that worried about getting paid for it. I just wanted to make sure I did a good job and that my team were achieving, and all of these things. I would just put my all into absolutely everything, but it meant that I'm forever prioritizing other people's needs and wants and everything over my own. But that just became such a part of me. And it's the same as having children. Like, you're just constantly on the go, like doing stuff for your children all the time, that it's very easy to fall into the trap of, well, I just don't have time for me. Like, I don't have time to go for a walk, or I don't have time to do yoga or journal or do all these things. But actually, when you do make that time, the shifts that happen are insane. So I'm going to talk through what my morning routine is right now, because I've created a schedule for myself that I'm doing every single day. Like, this is part of my routine that I have to do before I start any work. And the difference that it's made on my productivity, my mindset, like my performance, all of these different things has been incredible. And it's made me realize how I've been neglecting my own sort of well-being and that self-care piece, thinking that, well, I've got all this stuff to do, I can't possibly sit down for 10 minutes and do some journaling, or I can't possibly go and do a half an hour yoga session. Like, I just don't have time because I've got XYZ that has to get done, and who else is going to do this, who else is going to do that? Like, I don't have a team, or my VA only works a couple of days, or whatever it's been. There's always been excuses around it as to why I've not prioritized my own self-care and creating this kind of routine for myself. um so it's not about finding more time. And I think a lot of people, and I was one of those people. So if you're listening to this now and thinking, but my day is so packed, I literally don't have the time, and people don't get it, because that's what I was telling myself and other people all the time. I was forever being told, but you need to do this, you need to do that. And I would be saying, but I cannot do that. I have children. Like, it's just not possible to do that. I can't go out and do all these things. I've got a toddler or a baby or whatever in tow. Like, I've always given myself an excuse as to why I can't do it. And I'm not entirely sure what happened. I don't know if it was a certain mentor I've worked with, because I've worked with multiple mentors and sometimes overlapping with a couple on different things. Um, but there was definitely some kind of shift for me over Christmas, New Year. So end of 2023, beginning of 2024, where I really noticed that I've just got to change how I'm doing things because I'm forever jumping into the next idea and running with it and jumping all in and focusing on that and then focusing on something else. And whilst I may have a strategy in place and have that mentor to support me and all of these things, my brain is always like overactive, like it's always thinking of the next thing. So actually, I think it may have even been a manifestation audio I listened to where it was just talking about how important it is to really prioritize these self-care routines and making sure that you do make time for yourself and how much of an impact that can have on your daily routine. So I just want to talk about what my daily routine is right now in case it's going to help anybody to see like what I'm currently doing. And since doing this routine every day, my productivity has been so much better. I've actually managed to, even though this routine takes me between 1 to 2 hours every single day. Now, if someone had told me before I started doing this, it's only going to take you 1 to 2 hours, I would have instantly just been like, I don't have time for that. I literally do not have the time. I'm not going to do it. But I think I had one day in my week where I was just like, right, I've got time to do it on that day. I'm just going to give it a go. And just from doing it that one day, I instantly knew I was like, I have to make this a priority in my daily routine every day over anything else. Because actually, when you're working with clients or customers or whoever it is you're working with, or these goals that you set for yourself every single day of things that have to get done, when you take a step back and think, do they really have to be done right now? Like, does that client need this thing right now? Or do I just adjust my um sort of schedule or the time plan that I create for all of my clients so it's ever so slightly longer, but it means that I'm going to be able to deliver an even better result because I'm going to be in the right frame of mind, have the right energy, and have that higher frequency that's going to mean your energy is just in the right place to be able to deliver that 110% to the client while still creating more freedom in your life. And I can't believe that by doing this 1 to 2 hour routine every single day has actually given me more freedom. Like, I have so much more freedom now to go and do stuff like go for a walk or play with the kids, which before I would just be constantly hustling. And I think this is where when you listen to any kind of manifestation audios or affirmations or anybody that talks about well-being and mindset, they all say you attract what you put out there. So if you are constantly hustling and you're constantly busy and you're constantly feeling overwhelmed and things aren't going right and everything feels like it's all spiraling out of control and you don't have time and all of this kind of thing, your energy is just so off all the time and so low, and your vibration is so low that you're just feeling sorry for yourself and not being very productive. That all that's happening is you're just going to keep attracting more and more of that energy because that's what you're putting out into the universe. And I know a lot of people listen to this and think, okay, I just don't get this whole universe thing. But honestly, it works. Like, you have to try these things to see what works for you. But the shift from doing this particular daily routine has meant that I've created more time. I'm not feeling stressed or anxious. It means that my work can fit in really nicely around everything else. It means that I'm even taking on less clients. My prices have gone up. Like, I've just been able to position myself in a way that I'm creating a life and a business that works for the future brand that I want to have. Like, it's always thinking about where I'm going. And this is something that comes up for me time and time again when I'm working with both my mentoring clients and my rebrand clients, is when I ask the question of where they're going, so often they don't know. Like, they literally don't know where they're going. They're focusing so much on the now, like what they're doing right now, and they need a client now, and they need to do a rebrand now, and they need to make their social media feed look better right now, but they're not thinking of the bigger picture and where they want to be going and the kind of life that they want to create, and thinking, well, does this current business model that you have for yourself allow you to have that lifestyle in the future? Because if it doesn't, then something has to shift and change. I'm going off on a tangent here, so I'm going to get back to my daily routine and I can talk about this in more depth in another episode. So my daily routine at the moment, I'm going up every day. So I've got 3 young children, they're 8, 5 and 2. So obviously we normally, unless it's the school holidays, which it currently is at the moment, it's the last day of the Easter holidays here. But on a normal routine, we've obviously got the school run. So my kids are all early risers, so they will be up at 6 o'clock every single day. So this is one thing that makes me laugh when people say to me, oh, if you want to make more time, you just have to get up earlier. I've got those kind of children that if I set my alarm for 4 o'clock in the morning to get up, they would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning as well. So no matter how early I set my alarm, that's just not going to happen. So I just have to make sure that I create this morning routine that fits in around the kids. So we come downstairs, sort the kids out for breakfast, and then while they're having their breakfast, I will make myself a green drink. So my green drink at the moment is like a superfood green drink. It might be a smoothie with spinach in, like no matter what it is, it's just a green, healthy drink that I have. So the one that I'm currently having at the moment is the Arbonne Be Well, and it's a superfood greens. And I just do 1 scoop of that with a glass of water. And in that same glass, I also put 2 scoops of pure collagen. I'm currently using the WellGuard Gold Standard pure collagen. I put 2 scoops of that in, but you can also get the liquid ones, which actually I think I prefer the liquid ones because the powder one just never seems to dissolve properly, no matter how much you mix it. So that is my start to the day, and I have that before I have any caffeine or anything. I also make sure I fill up my water bottle. So I've got one of those water bottles where you can see like how much you should be drinking. So I fill it up twice a day, and it means that I get plenty of water in me because I'm one of those people that if I haven't got water right in front of me, I won't drink enough. Like especially if I'm busy, sometimes I could go an entire day and only have 1 glass of water, if that. So to have this now where I know, oh, I better check. Yeah, I need to have some more of that. It just means that my water intake is going up and my skin has improved so much. Not that I've ever had bad skin. People have always complimented me on having really good, healthy skin. But I definitely notice a different when I'm not drinking enough water because it goes quite oily and obviously I get blemishes and stuff. So since having a higher intake of water, I've definitely noticed a difference. And also my dry skin has eased up as well on like my hands and stuff. It may just be a coincidence, but I'm putting it down to the water because that's the main thing that I've really changed. Um, then I will make myself a herbal tea, and at the moment I'm loving the pucker tea. There's a licorice and mint. I think it's mint. Yeah, licorice and mint. It's so delicious. If you haven't tried it, definitely give it a go. That is my all-time favorite. But I love any kind of herbal teas. I'm not a massive fan of green tea, but I will have it because I know that's quite good for you. But normally I go for like a fruity tea. But yeah, the licorice and the mint is my current favorite. So this is all being done while the kids are having their breakfast as well. And then also while they're having their breakfast, I will do my daily journaling or scripting. So I'm currently at the moment doing a kind of mixture of the two. So journaling is where I write down my current feelings, thoughts, things that are going on, so I can literally get anything that's whirring around in my head that's maybe causing an issue or things I'm thinking about. I just get it out on paper, and that the act of getting it from my brain onto paper just helps to ease the load a little bit. Like it just takes some of that weight off. It makes me just feel a bit better. I have been journaling every single day, but the thing I'm really loving the most is scripting. So if you've never heard of scripting, I am going to get someone to come on and do a podcast on this because it's one of those things that you could go more in depth, but essentially what it is you are writing how your life looks, like how things are when you already have the success that you want, or when you've already achieved the goals that you're like aspiring to achieve. So I will do this and I will listen to a high frequency audio whilst I'm doing this as well. So again, kids are sat having their breakfast while I'm doing these things, by the way. So I'm tuned into my high frequency audio, and it's normally like an abundance audio, and this is just any YouTube video. So if you just go onto YouTube and put in like abundance high frequency, there's loads on there, and I'll just listen to one of those while I'm scripting. So my scripting usually starts with thank you universe, or I am so grateful for, or I am achieving, like I'm so proud of myself for blah blah blah. And I'm literally writing out what I have achieved, like the incredible launch I've just had, the incredible clients I'm getting, the incredible lifestyle, that the dream holiday I've just been on. Like you've got to imagine you already have these things. So scripting is all about making it a reality. So it's all about I am, not I want, I can't wait to have. It's none of that. It's all about I am, like in that present moment, how you're feeling now that you have achieved those big goals that you have for yourself. The first time I did this, I was like, this feels really weird because I haven't achieved this. Like, why am I writing this stuff? But I'm doing it as a daily thing now. And I've been doing this, I don't know how long I've been doing this for, but I've been doing it every single day. And sometimes I'll sit there and do it for like 5 minutes, sometimes it's 10. Usually 5 minutes is like the most I'll do it for, to be honest, but I have done it for longer. I think when I first started, I wrote for a bit longer, whereas now because I'm kind of repeating myself and saying more or less the same things each day. I find that 5 minutes is plenty for me, but then I will normally, when I finish my scripting, just continue to listen to that abundance audio with my eyes closed, and I picture what it feels like to have achieved these goals. Like I'm really, like this kind of meditation process is really helping me to just feel that energy that I would feel once I have achieved those goals. I never used to do this kind of stuff, by the way, but ever since I have, the weirdest things have happened. Like I will have clients ring me up having said to me months before that they weren't going to go ahead because of whatever it was, whether it was the price or my availability or whatever it is. They've literally phoned me up like after me doing this repeatedly and saying like, oh, my dream clients are coming, like I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm going to get a client for this today. And then from doing this, I have actually been attracting these things like random DMs that have popped up, like, oh, somebody just wants to book a VIP day with me. And it might be I've not had an inquiry for that for like a week or 2 weeks or maybe even longer. But all of a sudden, because I've been starting to script it as if it's happened, as if I've already had that today, things start to happen. And it just goes to show like actually putting this energy out there and raising your vibration and really manifesting like what it is that you want, it really does attract these kinds of things to you. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to start writing down all these things like, oh my God, I can't believe I've just made £1 million today and it feels incredible, and all of these things. If you don't truly believe that is ever going to happen for you, like I'm only scripting things that I know are going to happen for me in the future because I believe that it's going to happen because my business model is shifting and changing to allow this to happen. I've already like calculated the cost of things that I'm going to be investing in. Like I know all of these things. It's all part of my strategy and my goals. But if you are someone that has not thought about the future, you don't really know what you want to be doing, and you're literally just scripting from a place of, yeah, I'd like £1 million today, chances are your energy just isn't going to be there. So it's really about doing that strategy work, knowing where you're going, and then scripting based on those goals that you have set for yourself. So I'll do my journal and scripting, which obviously then leads into that meditation piece. I will occasionally, so from this point, I will then go and do like the school run, sort the kids' lunches out, whatever it is. But I may then come back from that and do some form of meditation. I will do movement. So the movement could either be dancing around with the kids before the school run. It might be literally doing the school run, but perhaps when I get back, I'm going to continue that movement by going and walking the dogs. The dog. It might also be like dancing around the house. It might be doing a yoga session, like whatever it is, I'm moving my body. Like moving my body just makes me feel energized and really good and happy, and it raises my vibration. So I just feel like I'm in a really good place to set myself up for the day. That also, doing the school run and going and doing that sort of thing, helps me because I get some fresh air, and breathing in fresh air, like doing those deep breathing exercises again, is really important for you to just de-stress and like unwind and really set yourself up for success for the day. So if you aren't going on the school run, if you aren't going for a walk or going outside, and your day starts like 9 o'clock and you maybe aren't going outside for that time, what I would recommend doing is literally just stepping outside the front door. So something I do sometimes, maybe the kids are ill and they're all off sick and I'm not doing the school run that day. Maybe I'm not walking the dog for whatever reason, I'm waiting for a delivery, like whatever's happening. I will make a point of literally standing outside my front door. Like we've got a road, so we've got hedges and trees and the birds are all chirping. It's all really pretty. But even if you live somewhere like an apartment with a balcony, whatever it is, you can stand outside and just do some really deep breathing. If you live in a noisy area, like plug in your headphones and just put on some kind of audio, like an abundance audio or some kind of meditation audio from YouTube, and just do some deep breathing. And you don't have to do this for a couple of minutes, like 2 minutes a day, but that in itself will help you to just feel more energized and ready for the day. I also do my tarot cards. So I am currently using the Oracle cards by Rebecca Campbell, which are the Work Your Light Oracle cards. They're so beautiful. If you don't have them, make sure that you go and check them out. I will pop the link in the show notes as well. So I do a 3-card pull, and I do this every day. Sometimes I do this before the school run because I actually do also pull cards for my daughter as well, my eldest. She loves doing it as well. And then we read together like what all the cards mean, and it just helps me if something's maybe going off track that day. I just think about those cards and just think, right, okay, what is this telling me right now? How else could I think about it? Like, what could be going on here? Like, how could I put this in a different sort of frame of mind or different light or whatever? So I find that really helps me. And again, that's like a 1 minute thing that it doesn't take long to do at all. I also appreciate I have like my gratitude list every single day. So the first thing that I'm going to do when it comes to any sort of work, so I open up my journal, which is my work journal, not my journal, my diary, which has my 3 goals for the day. I only give myself 3 main goals, so they're all sectioned off as these 3 things have to get done today, but they're 3 achievable things. I'm not setting myself up for failure by giving myself 3 massive tasks. I'm giving myself 3 things that I know I could get done in a day that have to get done. Anything else goes underneath those 3 things, and if I manage to get any of those done, then that's an added bonus. But I don't have massive long lists of to-do things to get done because it's just going to cause overwhelm, and all you're doing is setting yourself up for failure. Because if your to-do list is constantly going from one day to the next day to the next day to the next day and never actually getting checked off, it can make you feel really crappy because you're just going to be thinking, oh God, I'm never going to get this done, and that's on my to-do list again, and you just feel like you're not achieving. Whereas if you set those 3 to-do lists, those 3 things on your to-do list every single day, it really helps you to finish your day knowing, right, I've achieved those 3 things and I even managed to get that one thing done from the rest of my list. That's amazing. I feel so good and I've accomplished what I wanted to do today. Rather than, oh my God, I've only ticked 3 things off of my list of 9 today. I feel really rubbish. I've not had a very productive day. And it's just them realigning those goals and putting less pressure on yourself. Like we put so much pressure on ourselves to constantly be working, working, working all the time. You don't have to be doing that to have a successful business. So I have my 3 goals for the day every day. And I also write down 3 things that I am grateful for. So whatever it is, it might be people in my life, it might be something that's gone really well, it might be my clients, it might be, I don't know, like it might be I had a really good night's sleep. It might be that I managed to get out and do some exercise before the school run. Like it might be anything, like whatever it is, I always write down 3 things that I'm really grateful for. And I will also write one affirmation down every single day. So in my journal, my diary for my work, I've got 3 things that I'm grateful for at the top. Then I've got my one affirmation. And then underneath that, I have my 3 goals that I have to get done that day, followed by like a selection of other bits underneath. So this is my daily routine I do every single day. Now, if the movement is literally just doing the school run and maybe doing some yoga at home or something, this entire routine will take me less than an hour to do. Like, I know that I can get that done. And sometimes I can get all of these things done before the school run around the kids with them getting ready and stuff. So anybody that tells me they don't have time to do it, like I know they do. It's just realigning those intentions and making sure that you are really focusing on what you want to achieve and thinking what you really have to get done that day. Because I think a lot of the time when I'm speaking to my clients, they're telling themselves they've got all of these things to do on their list, but actually when I go through it with them, I'm like, well, why does that have to be done right now? That could be done later. Like, why does that even have to get done this week or today? Like, don't put all that pressure on yourself, and always be thinking, if you are in a position where you need a client like this week, if you are desperate to get a new one-to-one client this week, some of the things on your to-do list, I would love it if you had a look at them and thought to yourself, is that one thing on your list going to get you a client this week? Because if it is not an activity that is gonna make sure that you get that client this week, then put it down on the bottom of your list. Like you don't have to have all of these million things to do, because all that's going to happen is you're going to come from this place of desperation of needing a client or needing whatever it is that you want, and having all of these all of these tons of things on your to-do list to get done, and you're just going to feel that pressure building up inside you. And then before you know it, you feel really overwhelmed. You still haven't got a client because you're trying to do all these things. You haven't had time to do this, that, and the other. And you're telling yourself this on repeat over and over again every single day until the end of the week. You still haven't got that client because all you've spent your week doing is all of these crazy things, overwhelming yourself with stuff that actually the energy you're putting out there is just the fact that you can't even take on a client if you wanted to because you haven't got space. Like you have not got the capacity, the mental capacity, or physically in your daily routine routine. You cannot take on another client right now. That's the energy you're putting out there. So if you are prioritizing creating this freedom and setting yourself up for success every day with a really healthy start to your day, whatever it may be to you, then that is going to help you so much to get the results in your business. So I would love to ask you what you think of this morning routine. If there's anything that you are going to go away and try and do yourself, I would love to also hear if there's anything that you're going to add in or change into something else that you do. Maybe you're someone that's really into just going to the gym. Like, the gym just is not for me. Like, one of my goals this year is to work with a personal trainer. Like, that is something that I need to do because I need that accountability of someone breathing down my neck telling me, you've got to go and do this right now. Otherwise, I won't do it. If I've just got the freedom of going to the gym, I will never go. Also, gyms just aren't my kind of place to hang out. But if you are someone that loves going to the gym, like, make this a priority in your day. Like, so many gyms have like a creche, or maybe there's someone that can look after your child if you have a child for half an hour even for you to go and work out if this is something that's really important to you. But doing these activities before you start any work, before you go on social media or start your to-do list or send those emails out, like, doing this means that when you do sit down at your computer or you sit down to create that next piece of content for social media, whatever it is that you need to do for your working day, you're already in a good place. You already feel good. You've started your day off on the right foot. You're not literally rolling out of bed, rushing around trying to get the kids ready for school, going and doing the school run, coming back, getting straight into your to-do list. And then before you know it, the day's over. You've got to go and pick the kids up again. And all you've been doing is work, 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 work all day long, to the point where you just feel so exhausted come the end of the day that you don't have time to do anything else and you just want to go to bed. And then you repeat it all the next day. Like, how amazing would it feel if you were actually waking up tomorrow knowing, right, today I'm prioritizing me, and even if you spend half an hour doing something for you, like doing any of these things that I've told you today that are part of my daily routine, and really working out like what is important to you and seeing the difference. I would love to invite you to do this for a whole week as a minimum, and let me know after a week how you feel, the difference it's made for you, and any results that you've noticed as well. That would be so interesting to hear. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I can't wait to come on for the next one next week. Hope you've had a lovely weekend, and I will speak to you soon. Take care, guys. Thank you for listening to this podcast episode. If you're ready to unlock the secrets of building your own personal brand, head over to my website, baileyandrue.com, where you can grab my free Brand Brilliance Blueprint today. It's your roadmap to success in the world of branding. And hey, let's stay connected beyond the podcast. Follow me on Instagram at baileyandrue for daily inspiration, behind the scenes insights, and exclusive content to fuel your brand journey. See you there.